What's going on, everybody? Good morning. We are here on this Seahawks Sunday. Got a game in about 4 hours, and we've got some stuff to talk about before kickoff. So, first of all, let me just reiterate for anybody who maybe didn't know, I am doing a watch-along stream of this game. So, about 1 o'clock should go live. The stream placeholder is already up on the channel. Gonna also be dual streaming to Facebook and X. So, tune in. Gonna go until the game ends, and hopefully it ends up being a game worthy of streaming. So definitely check that out. I know a lot of people like it when I do the watch along streams for Seahawks games, and I only do a couple of years. So definitely check this one out. Hope to see you guys there in 4 hours. And yeah, that's the big thing that's going on today. But we do have some news. The first item of news doesn't really relate to this game directly, but it's certainly impactful. We'll talk about that after the break. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so the big news, and this was yesterday, but we learned about this right before the Huskies game. I didn't want to post a video right before I went live for the Huskies game. And then after the Huskies game, I was mad. And it just didn't make sense to post a video late. I don't think when we got plenty of time before the kickoff today. So gonna go ahead and talk about this here. Unfortunately, Jarran Reed, who we already knew was out today, we knew that from before. He's going to be out for a month at least. He is going to miss at least 4 games. He has been placed on injured reserve. And I think a lot of Seahawks fans are just confused. Like, how did this happen? He practiced all week, had no games designation, and then in a matter of hours is declared out from today's game, and then he's declared out for a month. If you're looking for me to tell you what happened, I'm afraid I can't really help you. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I am just as confused as anybody else. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but for our purposes, all we know for sure is that he's going to be out for at least 4 games, and we can kind of come up with our own theories as to what happened, but it's a pretty bizarre circumstance because presumably this didn't even happen at practice. Because if it happened at practice, we would have heard about it on Friday. So maybe we'll find out down the line, but for our purposes as fans, the only thing that really matters, we're not going to have Jarran Reed for a month. Now, that means more onus on Leonard Williams to play a lot, more onus on Byron Murphy to play more. And this is kind of the scary thing about this season, right? You've got a defensive line that is very, very good, but it's also very, very top heavy. And now you're taking away the least important part of the 3-man rotation, but it's still an important part because of what is left. And before we go any further, I want to tell you guys about something that's actually pretty cool and pretty important to me. Back in 30. Hey everybody, Seahawks Brendan Nelson here to show you some really cool steel art for the 50th anniversary of the Seahawks and a Mariners medallion too, like the ones pictured above my head. My dad, aka Metal Hawk, has met over 300 Seahawks, dozens of Mariners, and some Sonics in his time, and now he's making unique steel art, special edition, and it can be yours for a donation directly to Fans for Good. Click the Facebook link down below for complete instructions. Back to the video. All right, welcome back. So, yeah, what this means On top of maybe seeing a little more Williams and a little more Murphy, you're probably going to see Peely. Peely's probably going to play more, which is interesting. Might see some J.R. Singleton, might see some Quinton Bohanna, and this is also a really good opportunity for Mike Morris. All those guys have the opportunity to get significant snaps down on the line now, and somebody from that group should emerge as someone that we can trust to give a handful of snaps a game. None of those guys, I don't think, at least individually, are going to be able to replace the snaps we were giving Reed. As much as Reed was not playing amazing this year, he was playing fine, and he was giving you over 30 snaps a game. I don't think giving Mike Morris 30 snaps a game on the line is going to work out for you, especially when you consider Reed was kind of acting as our nose tackle. Morris is certainly not that. But those guys have the opportunity to get at least out there somewhat and try to do something. So, yeah, this is one of the fears that you had when you built out this team. You didn't get the true nose tackle, and you basically tried to get through the year with 3 legitimate players on the defensive line. And maybe you can get away with it. Maybe Peely will step up. Maybe Peely will be able to handle his business. That'd be great. That would mean that we don't have to worry about nose tackle as much next year. And that's cool, but don't expect the help to come from some of the typical places Seahawks fans look for. Corbin Smith talked about this a little bit. You got Jonathan Hankins, and people ask me about Hankins sometimes, and I haven't heard anything, and neither has Corbin Smith. So there's probably nothing to hear. According to Corbin Smith, nothing suggests it is going to actually happen with regard to activating Jonathan Hankins. McDonald has given no hints he's even in consideration to return. So it's not Hankins. And he also talks about Riley Mills here in this tweet, where even if Mills plays this year, he's going to need multiple weeks on the practice field first. So he's not going to save the day. And, I've advocated a while now, forget about Riley Mills. Pretend he's not on the team this year. He shouldn't play. Now, if Reed ends up being out for the whole season, maybe the math on that changes a little bit. But I still think that, given the circumstances, Mills should be looked at as a red shirt for this season. So you're not going to get it from Mills. You're not going to get it from Hankins. Healy, Singleton, Bohanna, Morris. Those are the guys that are going to try to piece it together here. So that's really all I can say about the Jarran Reed thing. It's one of those things where he's not a great player, but he is doing his job. And it's a valuable job. Our defensive line is the seat of our power, or one of them. Maybe DeMarcus Lawrence slides inside a little bit and plays some in the middle because of the absence there. He can do that. That might work. I like that. But it is going to be a little bit of a mix and match job to get it right. Also, by the way, this isn't mentioned in this tweet, but Dareke Young got put on injured reserve. So Rashid Shaheed's going to have a nice little job there on the kick return stuff to do, I think. And we'll see if Dareke Young comes back for the end of the year, if we even need him. There might be a circumstance where we end up not needing him for the rest of the season. All right. So that's all the injury-related stuff as it pertains to Reed and, of course, Dareke Young. So there's a few other things I want to take a look at real quick going into today's game. So Jeremy Fowler came in with some good news last night concerning Cooper Kupp. He is expected to play, and this was at about 7:10 last night. So Cooper Kupp expected to play. Then about an hour later, we got this from Rappaport, who sounded a little less optimistic, but still indicated that Cooper Kupp looks like he's got a good chance of being able to play. Now, I don't know if this really qualifies as news. Cooper Kupp has a better shot of playing this week than last week. That's kind of feels like it's a given that, time has passed between him getting injured and now. So I don't know. It kind of feels like this is a tautology. Regardless, though, it seems a little less optimistic about his ability to play. So looks like we're going to have Kupp. I would expect to have him. And with Torrey Horton almost certainly out, I think that's kind of key. I know Cooper Kupp hasn't done a lot lately, but I still want him out there, and I still think that he can. I still think this is the kind of game where he can make a significant difference. Some of the practice squad elevations, real quick, before we get out of here. Quinton Bohanna and Cody White have been signed off the practice squad, so that indicates Bohanna might do some of the work for this game in replacing Reed. We also got Cody White, which is a sensible signing given the fact that we have Dareke Young on IR, and we also know we have no Bobo, so Cody White fills a need there. And Ricky White, wide receiver, has been elevated from the practice squad, so that makes a lot of sense because of the injuries we have at receiver. And also getting elevated is linebacker Pat O'Connell. Again, very sensible given the fact that we're probably not going to have Ernest Jones. So, all stuff that makes sense. All important stuff that makes sense here. And I don't think there's anything here particularly shocking. And real quick, Cardinals also did some work from their practice squad. They signed Michael Carter, the running back. Michael Carter makes sense, right? They're missing their top 2 running backs from before the season started. They also elevated a linebacker, Jared Bartlett, who that makes sense. You still got no Ojulari, and you're also going to have no Mac Wilson. And they elevated cornerback Darren Hall. Arizona's missing their top 2 corners. So all just kind of common sense stuff here. But that is about all we got. So that is the Seahawks a series of Seahawks related news this morning. See you guys later. Going live in about 4 hours. Everybody have a good rest of your day. And hopefully we get to watch a big win. See you guys soon.